Hello, I'm Ed and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are starting pre-season testing. So, pre-season testing. What is pre-season testing as a racing driver? Well, I will talk about that in a little bit at the moment, but I think one thing I'd like to do is actually just take a quick look back at the journey so far as to what we've been doing on my journey to becoming a racing driver. We started off with how do you start motorsport? We've chosen the route that I wanted to go down, which was Ginetta. I've placed and ordered my car. I've followed it through the production line in the factory. I've started working in the simulator with the guys at SimTrack, the in-house racing drivers training simulator at Ginetta's headquarters. Then, of course, we've had the first day out in the car and I've drove the car. So the racing season hasn't started, but I need to get some time testing the car because I don't want to go into that first race weekend kind of not being as good as I can possibly be. And the only way to do that is to get that seat time that we talked about, get that practicing in, get those efforts. I mean, it's a big effort. You know, you've got to take time off work. You've got to book things in. We've got puppy sitting duties that need to be taken care of when I'm away on track. So there's lots of things that actually go on in the background. So if you're thinking about being a racing driver, you've got to think about all these things. What is it in the background in your life that's happening? So all of those sorts of things are things that, for me as a rookie, I had to learn for the first time. Come on then, up you get, good girl. She always likes to join me on the sofa. Good girl. You take a seat then. You can talk to the camera. Say hello. There you go. Even just doing what I'm doing, which is motorsport as a hobby. You know, I've always said to the people on the track, and I've said this to my friends, you know, fundamentally this is just a very expensive version of joining a golf club. Because motorsport is, as most people will be aware, it is incredibly expensive. You know, it's not just, oh, pay a couple of quid and you can have a razz around in a car. No, it's a lot of money. But for now, we're on to pre-season testing. So we have not had any first race yet. We haven't, you know, done any motorsport per se. Fundamentally, we've just been booking track days, taking my car to track days and testing. So this is some footage from some pre-season testing that we had at Silverstone.
I can't believe I'm finally driving my own race car at Silverstone. That is just like a dream, childhood dream just come true right there. But can't take the film crew with me today, can't take any of the team. It's literally just me and the coaches. It's going to be a bit more handheld and a bit more selfie-esque today. Yeah, we'll show you guys around a few hot laps at Silverstone, hopefully, and show you a bit more on what it is that we're going to be doing today.
Take the second exit to merge onto the M1 towards the south.
There we go, heading south. See you in a bit.
Arriving at Silverstone, it was very clear that this was a big step up from Brighton Park. And with that, much more intimidating.
Morning, Steve. On for the Instagram.
I got myself signed on at race control, I had my briefing, and I got in the car and headed out on track. So this was my out lap. I was intimidated. This was such a huge step up from a couple of cars on an airfield at Brighton Park to some seriously expensive supercars and race cars doing some serious speed on a Formula One circuit. I was gentle with the car, I wasn't really pushing, and I pretty much let everybody just go past me. I didn't want any more damage. Within the first couple of 20-minute sessions, I was making my way around the track and feeling like I was making progress. The initial fear was starting to dissipate and I was in and out of the pits working with my coach as well as the team who were setting up my car to find out ways to go even faster. I felt like I was making good progress. However, we got a red flag and I came in feeling a little bit cocky.
Just been out on the track, done about 2 sessions around, 2 20-minute sessions. Things are going well. Getting some really nice
links together in corners. It's great. It's doing going really well. But yeah, just had to come in. Another red flag. One of these track day boys has brought an Audi TT or something, and he's spun it round and put it in the gravel. So we had a red flag, and then as soon as I got in the pits, they're back out again. So anyway, but yeah, so I'll report more when I get back in the car in a bit.
After the red flag, we of course got back out on track as soon as it was safe to do so. I had a few more sessions, and then it was time for lunch. Time to rethink, time to relax. In the afternoon, I really was starting to get a bit cocky and a bit cocksure of myself. I was pushing and pushing and pushing, and mistakes were starting to happen. After the realism had set in that I wasn't in fact Michael Schumacher, I toned it down a bit. I reined it in, and I started working seriously with my coaches to make sure I could get the optimum performance and understand how I can drag every last little second out of the speed of the car. This resulted in the afternoon session being quite intense. I actually spent almost an entire hour, a full 54 minutes long, in the car in one go. There was no reason for me to be out on track that long. The truth of the matter was, I was enjoying myself so much I just did not notice the time. I was absolutely, thoroughly enjoying every moment of being out in my race car on the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit.
So, I literally just got home from Silverstone now, absolutely knackered, absolutely dead. I didn't actually realise, but one of the last stints I did of the day was 54 minutes long. I was out on track, hell for leather, for a full hour, basically. I mean, we got the best time of the day during that stint. So obviously the practice was working and it was making sense. So a bit of a summary. Started the day on a sort of, 1:28.4 or something like that in terms of an actual lap, with a theoretical of around about a 25.9. So by the end of the day, James, my coach and instructor, he said to me, look, I want you to achieve that theoretical, because you can do it. If you link all those turns together correctly, you'll be on a 125.9. By the end of the day, I managed to get a 125.4 actual lap. A full lap was 125.4 with a theoretical of something like a 123.5. So I was really, really pleased. These cars are so capable. It is unbelievable. I mean, I was monstering Porsche 991.2 GT2 RSs. They're a 700 brake horsepower car, leaving them for dead. And that's not a joke. I mean, I'm not messing around. The amount of speed that I can carry through the corner compared to those cars with this race car, as soon as I put my foot on the accelerator out that corner, yeah, they were catching me by the end of the straight. They were up to where I was, but then I went around a corner again and I was gone. And so it was bit by bit, so it's pretty amazing. There was McLarens there was a Ferrari there, lots of Porsches, lots of GT3s. Really, really interesting to see the difference between a road car and a race car. I mean, I've got some really fortunate to have some really nice, fast road cars myself, and it is remarkable, the capability and difference. But absolutely thoroughly enjoyed today. Absolutely knackered. I'm going to get some food and go to sleep super early. It's 7 in the morning. I'm on the way down to what I'm anticipating to be a very wet Silverstone track today. So this will be the first time I've took the car out in the wet, which is going to be interesting. I've got a new driving instructor, Charlie, with me today, another one of the Ginetta factory drivers. I've never met him before. It's the first time I'm going to meet him, and I'm super excited to have that extra level of input from more and more coaches. More and more people give me different ideas and different things to pick up on, which is
great. So super excited for that. Definitely nervous with a wet track. I've just seen how bad my hair is. Right, I'm putting that back on. First day in the wet. I'm glad it's a track that I know well, Silverstone, that I've done quite a few times over on track days, and obviously in my Ginetta a couple of times as well. But I know it's going to be a completely different dynamic today, because like I say, it is absolutely sodden outside today. It's just going to be greasy, and the other thing is it's not been wet for a while. We've just had about 2 or 3 weeks of some hot weather, so the track is going to be extra greasy this morning. So I think first stint I'm just going to have to see how it goes and make sure I don't plough into the back of anybody or do anything silly at the hairpins. But we're in the wing pits again today, which is again an amazing facility, so super excited, can't wait. I'll catch up with you more when I get to the track.
Throughout the day it was much of the same as the previous day, testing in and out, setting the car up, those sorts of things, and working very closely with Charlie Robertson, my coach for the day. I wasn't able to take as much selfie footage and as much footage because I was very focused on what we were doing on that day. However, this was the result.
This is what I am buzzing about today. So that one there, which was a 1:13.96, the best time, that was Charlie driving in the blue box. And then this one here, which is also a 1:13.96, was me here in this one. So I can't believe it, but I matched his time today on best lap. So I'm absolutely buzzing.
So that was my day pre-season testing at Silverstone. That was an absolutely incredible day. When we do actually race later on in the season, it's not going to be on the GP circuit, it's actually going to be on the national circuit, which is sort of half of the main circuit. But it's still amazing to think that I've been able to do any test days on the Grand Prix circuit in that big GP wing where the Formula One is and everything. It's just unbelievable. So from my point of view, that was hugely exciting on its own. It was interesting to know there's a few things that I picked up on when I was there. There was a couple of customers, you saw in that footage, there was absolutely loads of those white Ginetta G56 GTA cars all lined up. There's loads of customers there. Race cars are designed to be as fast as possible, but they don't really get raced for a very long time. Reliability is already becoming very obvious to me. We had people who were brand new customers. They pretty much had a car that had only been driven a couple of times and there was gearbox issues. And I was sort of surprised by that because I thought, oh, it's a brand new car. Why would there be gearbox issues? But when you're revving a car round to 8,000 RPM and it's constantly staying at 8,000, 9,000 RPM, there's obviously going to be things that sort of go wrong. The stresses and strains that are under a race car compared to an everyday car are unbelievable. Race car manufacturers do not provide warranties in the same way that road car manufacturers, when you buy a car, will give you a 3-year warranty or 30,000 mile warranty. However, they do provide a 60-hour life warranty for the engine, and I've had a bit of mixed information about that, if I'm honest with you. So I've spoke to Ginetta and they say, well, it doesn't extend to the gearbox, and also it doesn't extend to sort of certain mechanics that link to the gearbox, like if the flappy paddles break or something like that, that's slightly different. So I will be honest with you, it's proving to be a bit of a grey area. So if you're thinking about motorsport, these are all things you need to be aware of, you know, and this is why people say motorsport can be so expensive. Well, the fact of the matter is, you kind of don't know where the cost might lie. I don't want that to put people off because the guys at Ginetta have been nothing but fantastic with me. But to the same extent, they are only going to do what they've agreed to do. And in motorsport, there is a completely different way of working in the reliability and understanding of what a product for a car should be compared to what there is on the road. So there's loads and loads of things that I'm starting to learn already just from chatting to people round the paddock and talking to people in the pits. These are people who have bought race cars in the past. These are some of the pit crew, some of the mechanics and some of the team that I've been talking to. And these are, you know, the salespeople at Ginetta who accompany us on those days to make sure everyone's happy and make sure everything's going well. I personally have not at this time had any issues with reliability, so I'm really happy. You know, my car's great, even though I've had a bit of a bang at Blyton. It was all taped up and tidied up the best it could be for me to go out and race. It didn't cause me any issues. To be honest with you, those cars are designed to get a little bit of rubbing damage, a little bit of scrape and a knock and a bang here and there, because it happens in racing. In one way they're incredibly sturdy, in another way they're quite delicate and fragile, so yeah, it's interesting. Please do not hesitate to subscribe and hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified of new episodes that will be coming up. Following on, another reason to subscribe is we've got a new video coming up next week, which is more pre-season testing, but things really don't go very well at Brands Hatch. See you then.